Hi, I'm Mike Bellevue. I'm the black powder editor for Guns of the Old West magazine, and today we're going to be shooting one of the final 6 guns of the Old West, the 1890 Remington. Now this is a replica. It's made by Uberti in Italy, and it's imported by the EMF company. This is the 1890 Remington, and it's kind of the last hurrah for Remington handguns. This gun did not sell very well at all, less than 10,000 sold, and it was really obsolete by the time it came out. But I love them. The first 19th century revolver I ever shot in real life was one of these guys. So I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for it. Now this gun evolved out of the 1875 Remington, which you see here. And the only real difference is that there's no web on it. That's it. So you could take this gun, and these webs, by the way, come off. You just remove this whole ejector assembly, and you can get an 1890 web and put it on, and you would have an 1890. That's it. Very simple. But I've always thought these guns were kind of neat. Now, I prefer this gun in a 5.5 inch barrel length. And I think most shooters do. I've rarely seen one in a 7.5 inch length, though they are offered. But in the 19th century, they sold far more of these, even in 1890, with the 7.5 inch barrel than they did with the 5.5 inch barrel. So it just shows kind of how tastes have changed and how we're conditioned to like things other than our 19th century forebearers were. This gun is conventional single action. If you're used to a Colt, it's the same general principle. You open a loading gate and you load them one at a time from the rear, and it's a single action design, meaning you have to cock it before firing each shot. It has some features that are different from the Colt in that the entire grip frame is integral with the main frame, which is actually much more modern than a Colt revolver. And the way it disassembles is very Colt-like and different from the originals. These Italian reproductions have a spring-loaded crossbolt right here, just like you'd find on the Colts. And the way you disassemble the cylinder is you put it on half cock, open the loading gate, and I'm going to use this pin just to make it easier, but you pull out the base pin from the top of the web here, and then the cylinder just drops right out. Now in the originals there would have been a spring-loaded catch right here. There would have been no cross bolt like this, just would not have existed at all, and that spring-loaded catch would have locked in here, and that's what would have kept things holding together. So this is the way they come apart, and it goes back in. Very simple. You just push it back, right? And you're good to go. This particular replica comes in 45 Colt, which these guns were cataloged in, but it's pretty rare. The first one I ever saw was a 45 Colt, and I'm quite sure that it was faked, and they were easy to fake. Just took a cylinder reamer, really, and an 1875 44 Remington barrel, and you could make a 45 Colt quite easily, because the only difference between the two, as I said, is that web here on the ejector rod. These come off. You can get a 44 caliber Remington barrel, which was really 46 caliber. Change the ejector assemblies on them and remount the chambers, and you faked up a 45 Colt. So it was still fun to shoot, but not a real collector's piece. This gun is one that I use quite a bit with smokeless powder. I know that's kind of anathema to a lot of you guys who know that I shoot a lot of black powder, but I figured an 1890 smokeless would be kind of fun, and I only use these guns at a match when I don't have time to clean in the next couple of days. But we'll probably shoot this out of the range with black powder just for the heck of it. So let's take it out and see what it'll do. The 1890 Remington loads just like a Colt single action through a loading gate in the rear. And we're going to load one. And then we're going to skip one and load the next four. And by doing that, when I cock the hammer all the way back, I'm going to be setting it down on an empty chamber. And we're good to go.